It's Mark Husson's Astrology Hour. Time for you to expect something wonderful.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. It's Mark Husson. This is Mark Husson's Astrology Hour coming to you live at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. on the East Coast. How are you doing? I swear, getting used to this doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. I hope you guys are well. It's so good to be here with you. I'm like thinking in my head, now, what did I forget? Hopefully nothing. I'm coming into the chat room. I hope you can join us over at YouTube. You simply go to youtube.com/@MH Astrology and click the live button. You should be able to see us. You should be able to get into the room. Hopefully you'll subscribe and be notified. So you can just have a special link. So I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much. Let's take a look in the room and see who's here. And I come in and see Lori Williams. Hi, and Diana, thank you for being here. Renee, hi, thanks so much. Hi, Laura. Truly's in the house. Good morning. I've never been good at the haiku. I hope somebody's here something fabulous. Who's good at the haiku? Because I can go like 5, 7, 5 syllables and then make something up. But I've seen enlightened people take days to create one, truly. So yeah, we're in the same boat. Hey, Liz, welcome. Thank you so much. Love from London. Oh, feels so good. I feel you. Hi, Deb H. Thank you. Lenny. Oh, Lenny's in the house. Hi, Mark and Astrology fam. I was traveling last week, so I had to catch the replay. So happy to be here with you live. I know it's so good when you're here live, Lenny. I'm glad you got to travel, though. Erica, thank you so much. Erica Longden's in the house. Her show is so good. She's in the show before mine. Thank you so much for providing the content you do, the love you do, the wisdom you do. It's so good to have you here, and I hope you had a great birthday week. Hippie Kitchen Witch, how you doing? Good to see you. Hi, Shelly. Thanks again for being here. Gorgeous fall garden. Oh, it is so pretty in the garden out there. The visual is so pretty. I have to look at my screen to realize that's your garden. That's your yard. And it's going away. Soon it'll be all white. We'll be talking about it. Hi, Maureen. 10-6 Libra here with the gem writing. Oh, Gemini rising and a Cap moon. Love that connection. That's really good, Maureen. Welcome. It's so good to have you here. Hey, Gypsy. Happy Thanksgiving from Tara in Edmonton, Alberta. Hi, Tara. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Monday, Carla. The like button isn't working. I'm sorry. I don't know what that is. YouTube. Cosmic MC. Thanks for being here. Oh, it's Mindy. Thanks, Mindy. You're so kind. Hi, Jennifer. Oh my God, you're here from England too. Thank you so much, Jennifer Hart. You guys are all I think you guys are all Libras, right? Celebrating. I hope you get to celebrate and get to know each other very well. Suzanne, thanks for coming. Quelly, always good to see you, sweetheart. Thank you for being here. You guys, there is so much to talk about. Oh my gosh. I have been the psychologist this week. I've been studying so much about personal development and individuation and the dimensions that make us happy, things that make us happy, according to a lot of the psychologists and a lot of philosophers. I actually did a little research, and because I'm thinking that we talk a lot about using astrology to make us happy and to because that's what I want to use it for. I know not everybody has that intent. A lot of people use it to make you afraid. A lot of people use it to complain about the government. A lot of people use it to complain about their friends or their life or whatever. We want to use it to be awake, just to be awake, because it's a mix. It's always a mix. There's always good and bad crap that happens. And if we only can accept the things in an astrology chart that our psyche allows us to accept, then a big part of our shadow doesn't get in. So you hear, it's so funny. One thing that YouTube has given me, God, there's so much this week. One thing that YouTube has given me is the capacity to have an understanding that there are people who will hate everything we do. And I mean me. And there are people who systematically go and dislike everything you do. I understand. I get it. Revenge, hate, whatever it could be. I run a company where a ton of people have quit or been fired over the past 17 years. That happens. So it doesn't matter. It does happen. And I'm not here to give the last word on it. I'm here to say you learn that not everything is about keeping on that mountaintop where we all agree, because we can't all agree all the time. And so one of the things that I think is really important is understanding what it is we're supposed to be doing. What is it that we kind of want from life? Because it goes, it moves. One thing you can count on, right? Death and taxes, right? And so understanding a little bit about the psychological dynamics of your chart, or understanding what is the purpose of being here. What is it that makes you unhappy? What is it that can make you happy? What is happiness? Is an important component. Now, this week, there's a lot of opportunity for challenges. There's a lot of good things happening. I mean, Venus is in its ruling sign now. I'm going to take us to the chart. We're going to talk about it because there's so much you need to understand. Venus is also opposing Neptune, which means it's two things it can mean. And this is so important. In astrology, you have a planet in Libra and you have a planet in Aries, and they're both at 0 or 1. They are opposite, right? They're in opposition. The thing about an opposition is they have compatible elements. Libra is an air sign. Neptune is a fire sign, fire and air. So why is an opposition considered to be negative? Well, because of our psychological condition. Some of us are readily able to accept components of ourselves, and we don't have to project them out here, which is what an opposition wants us to do. And some of us are in complete denial of aspects of ourselves, so everything gets pushed out and it all looks like it's coming at us. Now, that's not 100%, and that's not everybody. It's not 100% of the time for one person, and we change how we do that. But you remember the Magi book that I always reference? Magi, Astrology, Key to Success and Love, Money, blah, blah, blah. Well, I looked it up. What do they consider to be an activation, like a negative thing? And it's an opposition. They consider oppositions to be an activation. But there's also a thing they look, which is called parallels and counterparallels. And they consider those to be an enhancement. Well, when two planets are opposite and counterparallel, which happened with Venus and Neptune, they consider that to be a bi-level aspect, meaning it has two meanings and they're very intense and they're very different. It's like they covered everything. And I wrote it down. It's like one of the things, I'm looking down here at the notes. So the opposition is a clash that is considered stressful, and the counterparallel is an enhancement unless one of the planets is Saturn. Since neither Venus nor Neptune is a Saturn planet, the counterparallel has a positive influence. Now, bi-level is what they call it. A bi-level aspect occurs when the same two planets are in different simultaneous opposition and declination. Now, I'm trying to avoid big words, but when one's opposite and one's counterparallel, they create a bi-level aspect, which is considered to be extremely powerful, and it's complicated. Excuse me. So what happens is you got these two planets coming together, Venus and Neptune, and it looks like love. And it looks like trust, and it looks like intimacy, and it looks very powerful. And yet there's a possibility of being duped. There's a possibility of, like, it's kind of like what would happen, what a cult might do. That doesn't mean if you fell in love, you're in a cult. It means that your mind is very susceptible during these times. And the bi-level part of this connection is that you could easily be duped. And that brings me to my story. I was trying to print a label to send something back to Best Buy. I bought a screen protector, and I ended up buying 2 of them because I had 2 accounts and didn't know it. And I went to check, and I go, oh, I didn't order that. I thought I did. So I ordered it again. Well, it comes, and I go to Best Buy, and it says print your label. And my printer isn't working. I want to print the label. So I go to hp.com because I'm going to figure this out. And what do they have? A bot, an AI bot. And it says, tell us the problem. I told them the problem. They said, okay, we're busy on the chat, but we'll have a representative call you. They're free. So the representative calls me, says, hey, I'm with HP. let's take a look at what's going on with your computer. Can I get on? And I said, yeah. And I let her on my computer, gave her the aspect, like downloaded the software to let her in. And she's looking around and she goes, could you go unplug your printer? And I go, yeah, go unplug the printer, come back. And she goes, there are a ton of viruses on your computer. And I could feel my heart sink because I know this one. And I real quickly looked up at the web address. It said HP printer, and printer is spelled wrong. And all of a sudden I realize, as sure as I'm breathing, I'm on with a criminal. And I just let a criminal onto my computer. And I'm a wreck. I'm mad as hell. I can't even tell you. At myself. So my voice deepened and I went, you're not with HP, are you? I looked at the phone. I was like, the caller ID didn't say all the fucking things that you should do that I didn't do. And she goes, I'm from HP. You called us. They told you. I said, get off my effing computer. I'm recording everything you're doing. If you touched one thing, I will hunt you down, because she wanted to have a technician. The next phase was, you have viruses. We need to get a technician over here. So I knew phase 2 hadn't happened yet. So I kicked her off, shut everything down, intense virus scan. I don't know why, but it's reading my hand gesture. So it's like the intense camera zooms in. So shut everything down. Changed the Wi-Fi password for the first time in 20 some years. Changed every password I have. I have a program. I recommend everybody use Dashlane. A lot of people use LastPass, which is fine, I guess. They just do different things. But Dashlane is my trusted one. And I've been using it for 100 years. It remembers everything, and it made the passwords for me. Now, I can't go anywhere without Dashlane because it has all the passwords, but it also did two-factor authorization. It also does a token where it'll click and say, click your Dashlane, and we'll let you in, and you do. So I highly recommend it. But especially if you're an internet surfer and person who lives their life on the internet and who lets strangers on their computer and who knows better, that kind of person, you should probably get Dashlane. So I did all that. Now that shut down the cameras, it shut down the speakers, it shut down everything that was possibly electronic, how your electricity is doing sensor that State Farm sends, the Tovala oven that we have. It's sort of like Wi-Fi blinking, blank, everything's blinking. So it was a 2-day process of getting everything back right. It was worth it. Nothing happened. There were no viruses on my computer. I caught it. And I just want to leave this with Venus, Neptune. So let my cautionary tale be your cautionary tale, but also, what if you fell in love? Well, what happens when you fall in love? It's like the person's a drug. When you're really in that love state, that person's a drug. Or let's say that you're in love with a personality. I've known people that are in love with the personality. Like, they just know that actor belongs to them, right? I mean, okay. And I just saw today, what's it called? Oh my gosh. Groony? It's this new fad of women reading romance novels that involve non-human people that aren't just like Beauty and the Beast, half human, like a grotesque monster. Like, literally, the images of these people are like cows that are vertical, and like, it's a big fad. It's happening. So stuff has changed. I'm just saying, it's fun to be in touch with the sort of cycle of change and how intense it is, but it's changing. Things are changing. I mean, this is part of the new evolution. Like, is there something else that can shock you? Well, no. Yeah, okay. So let's take a look at what's happening. Let's look at these astrological things. But I also want to talk to you about what it is to become enlightened, but not enlightened, individualized, awake, a little more awake. Let's go over some of what people had said. And I'm going to, and actually, I want to turn this into something where I can bring it to you visually, but let's just verbally go over some of them. 6 core dimensions of psychological well-being. There's 6 things that most psychologists agree will keep you well. And I'm going to check your comments here in a minute. Self-acceptance, positive regard. So not just I am what I am, I kind of like what I am. Self-actualization. Now, let me define self-actualization for you. It's a Maslow concept. Okay, that was a psychologist. It's the highest level of the hierarchy of needs, can only be achieved after satisfying lower needs for physiological requirements: safety, love, belonging, and esteem. So the theory is you have to have self-esteem, love, a sense of love or belonging, safety, and those 3 things. Those have to be satisfied in order for you to even get close to self-actualizing, feeling that you are well and okay. Now, if you're not feeling any of these things, you are not well. You have to have this part of you that observes. None of us are perfect, and there is no perfection. The idea is, what can I do to achieve a little better happiness? Astrology will help, because we can show you some of the things in your chart that say this should feed you. And if it isn't feeding you, let's take a look. Let's bring some awareness. Okay, we're going to talk about it. Number 4, optimal functioning. This is from Rogers. Characteristics of a fully functioning person: openness to experiences. Fully functioning people accept their feelings, thoughts, and the world around them without distortion or denial. So how many people do you know that go, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know. I mean, I was there, so much so that you didn't, if you even looked, like we do it in the world. Okay? If you are a certain type wearing a certain thing, you are immediately hated. That is denial. That is absolutely denial that another person exists or has a right to exist. Now that's different. That's different than choosing not to look, like distaste. And we'll go over that a little bit. But right now we're just talking about denial. You cannot interpret experiences accurately if you've already stamped this like projection onto whatever it is you just hate. Okay. I just had, yeah, whatever. I want to go over that with you because there is a big difference between, there's a big difference between denial and detachment. Like detachment implies a certain kind of like, I can accept that. I just don't want to be a part of it. But that is key. Acceptance is key. Like we live in a political system where things are so polarized that we go, ooh, ah. And that is really simplistic, but it's also really dangerous. And that's why I think we have to stop the madness. And this is part of doing that. You can be detached and choose not to, or you can be in denial and go, I don't want to hear a thing about it. I don't want to hear anything good about this. Okay, and that is openness to experience. Yeah, that was Rogers's optimal functioning, and he goes into some things about trust in the organism. You trust your own feelings, freedom of choice. You feel like you're free to make choices. The issue is being able to, that you actually see the choices. Okay, then there's maturity. I'm just going to go through these really quickly. Maturity, maturity is characterized by 6 traits: an extension of self into meaningful activities and people, the ability to form warm and intimate relationships, emotional security, self-acceptance, realistic perception of the environment. See, they all sort of say the same thing. They're all sort of saying there's a certain level at which we start with personal growth, we start with self-acceptance, we start with having a foundation of warmth and love. Okay, some people might say they have warmth and love around them, but they're not very warm or loving. And it's just sort of like awareness. So what? Okay, I mean, it's a thing we look at. Honestly, that's all you have to do. And the daddy of them all, Jung, the individuation was his thing was it's a lifelong psychological process of development toward wholeness, integrating the conscious and unconscious parts of the psyche to become unique and complete. Well, and one of the most important things was integrating our shadow. Well, how do you know, how are you integrating the shadow? If the shadow is this dark part of us that's projected onto the world. So everything you hate out here, right? Everything you hate, you think it's out there. You only hate it because it's coming through you and you've painted it. Now, it's everything that you're afraid of out here that you've painted as dark is a part of your shadow. It doesn't mean it isn't dark. It means that you have to take some ownership of that's a darker part of you. That's how you become the very thing you hate. Right? People who condemn murder but said, God, I want to kill them for murdering that person. Okay, it's a matter of bringing it home. If every single person did it, you know that's where the famous phrase, be the change you want to see. But nobody really got it. They all twist it. We need an outside enemy. We have to have an outside enemy because the enemy within gets uglier and uglier. And the outside enemy we need a place to put that ugly and ugly. Where Jung is saying, bring some light to that ugly thing that you think is in you. Not easy thing to do. Thumbs up is fireworks. Okay, so all my hand gestures, I'm doing gesticulation a lot today. Okay, let's run over to the chart. Let me see how your comments are doing. I don't want to get too into the weeds with this because I want to bring forms and go over some images with you about it all. Yes, Dash Lane. Hi Terry, welcome. Thanks, Pamela. It's good to have you in the room, honey. Thank you so much. Loving these conversations, learning so many levels. Thank you, Lenny. That's great affirmation, honey. Okay, it looks like you guys are okay. I know you can be in listening mode, and that's where I go sometimes. But all of you, so we're defining happiness a little bit, and we're going to get on the same page of what that means, so we can start looking at what our charts can do to bring it. Now I'm going to bring us over to the chart. Okay, so I'm going to, I'll disappear for a minute here, but I want to bring the chart on the screen so we can look at it. Thanks, Esther. Esther, love back. Hi, Ann and Terry. Yes, perception. Yes, projection is perception, right? Projection. Also, Terry, remember what we project is our perception. It's just what it is. Perception is projection. Yeah. Which is it, Terry? Is that the way? Is it projection or perception first? It looks like my neighbor's actually packing up to leave. They've had their house on the market forever. He has this leaf blower fetish, and he was blowing this morning. I was like, I'm going to do a show, and he's like so loud. And then a big moving van came up. So maybe they were just clearing the driveway to move their stuff. Bye. No love lost. It's okay. Nice people for real, but just in a different world. No big deal. Let's look at the chart, shall we? So that would be here, big monitor. Okay. Now I'll bring this forward a little bit. You see, there's only two things there. Yeah, there we go. So let's take a look here. This is the sun at Libra, 20 Libra. This is the moon at 18 Cancer. Now, quiz for your own personal astrological development. What is that called? Does anybody have an idea? I know you astrologers know. This is, okay, Cancer brings in summer, Libra brings in winter. So this is called a square, and that's the emotional body of the moon today with our ego, the sun. And so there's a little bit of that energy. Okay, it's like it's hard to be loving and nurturing when you're going to be objective and fair. It's hard to be neutral and unbiased when you have an emotional attachment. And that's the difference between these two. That's how these two get along. Now, I'm going to bring Venus into the mix, and we're going to talk about each of these where they land in your chart. So today, with this Cancer moon, some of you might be feeling a little, and some of you might be feeling like, oh, this is great. I love this. So just pay attention. Now let's bring Mercury in real quick. I'll bring Mercury in. Mercury's at 10 Scorpio. Okay, so that just means we're being deep. We get to talk deep. I'm bringing Venus in. What is special about Venus? Take a look at this. What's special about 29? Students of astrology, what is special about 29? It's the very last degree you can have of a sign. So Venus is packed today, ready to enter Libra. This is today, right? Yeah. So it's any minute, and it goes in at 2:19 this afternoon, right? It goes into Libra. So then let me bring in Neptune, since that's the one we talked about. And yeah, that is the most intense. Gypsy, good one. That's a good one. So let me pull this in. See, this is Neptune at 0. It's going backwards. So the next behind it is 29 Pisces, 29 Virgo. Yeah, you see that? Opposition. So this is the issue. This is what got me in trouble with the hacker, potential hacker. This got me duped. I got lazy. I told myself a story about them. I turned off everything I knew to be true and told myself a story. Like, this is efficient. Yay, AI. Okay. So now Venus is going to go into Libra, which will definitely be even more so opposed to this Neptune. So this is the item, wherever this is in your chart. If you are a Libra, you are going to be so happy to have this Venus come into your life for a little bit. Virgos, you guys have got to admit, you've probably been being seen nicer than you have in a while. So now Venus is coming into, as Terry said, Venus on the degree of the solar eclipse last month. Oh, there you go. See if you have any resonance, get you moving forward to what you love. Thank you so much for that, Terry. That was the solar eclipse, was 29 Virgo. So Venus is right there right now. And look at that. We're looking at, and look at the topic today. How do we bring it into happiness? How do we get ourselves closer to what we love in our lives, what we want to be? So that's going on right now. I'm just saying the cautionary tale here, be in love, celebrate, enjoy what you love, be in gratitude. Don't turn your mind off. Keep the mental capacity going. Okay, so let's get here to where we can combine them. Let me see if I did this right. Yeah, all right. So when I'm gambling online, and you all know I love my little slot machines, I really try to be responsible. But the way I'm responsible is if I count in my head, like literally with my fingers. I have a little ADHD, as you all probably know. I think I've talked about it before. But I count 1 spin, 2 spins, 3 spins, because you can get lulled, Venus, Neptune, into a perception that you're doing better than you are, or that you're not spending that much money. And so you keep your mind on. And it's a really good defense. Hi, Kay, welcome. And so that is one of the good things about knowing what's going on astrologically, that, oh, wait, I need to keep my left brain going a little bit. And this is for everybody. I don't care if you are already a left brain person. You want to keep a little solid ideology on, because Neptune's very powerful and it's easy. Now, you don't consider everything a lie either. It's like when Neptune comes along and you feel a romantic connection, but the same thing is about conspiracy theories. See, this camera is way too sensitive to me talking with my hands. So the conspiracy theories are also Neptunian. They're stories we tell ourselves that fit a narrative and we want to believe them. All of that's fine. Believe away. But don't turn off your mind to the possibility that you could be in a belief. Don't you see the conspiracy theory story here with what happened to me in my computer? I'm telling myself a story. I've turned off all logic. She's nice. Don't be prejudiced about Indian people. All the things that were going on in my mind. You were at the right address. I don't know I was. I went and looked. And I looked closer and it wasn't spelt right. So everything that you believe is Neptune. Everything can be challenged. And if you're not willing to challenge it, if you are so convicted in your beliefs that you can't hear something else, then you're in denial. That's all. And if it hurts you to hear that because you are so sure you're right and you are so sure your position is the right position, then you are completely committed to that and you have shut down any discernment. You're not detached anymore. You're committed. And that's what I'm trying to say. If you want to know fulfillment, if you want to get this actualization thing happening, if you want to feel individuation, if you want to know true joy, you got to find your shadow. And if there's a boogeyman out here, regardless if it's these people trying to hack my computer or whatever political affiliation you have, if there's a boogie person out here, if there's a place or thing that is coming to get you, you have detached from your shadow and you're not closer to getting it. And there has to be some level of which you have discernment and you bring in enlightenment, you bring in awareness. And sometimes it's very hard to do because we set our lives up according to our belief systems. So if somebody's challenging your belief system, it's good you better have a foundational one, a core one, which is where faith and spirituality might come in for some of you. Some of you might say, well, that's Neptunian. No, the faith idea might be I can find the part of me that's a rock, that's very stable, that's fighting for my own good. Doesn't seem like an unhealthy belief. It can be a detachment idea where you're like, okay, let's see if that's true. It looks like in some of my worst times, I was able to find that part of me. So that's what's going on right now with this Neptune Venus thing. That's why today I heard about the new book novels that people are really getting into. And it's fetishizing animals in a weird way. I'm not judging it. I did judge it by saying it's weird, but it's weird. In a very objective, detached way, it's kind of weird. And I'm not judging people who are into it. I'm curious about why you are into it and what's going on there. Like, what is that movement? And I'm definitely open because it's big. It's big. Now, it could be, I have theories that because of the incel situation, which is people who are involuntarily celibate is the word incel. That's what they call young people who are celibate because they aren't good at relationships. And it could be that movement created this other fantasy world where it's like, let's just do big, beautiful, strong beasts. I don't know. We'll look. Thank you. Thank you, MC. That's very sweet. So we have growth to do. We want to use maybe astrology to help us get to that foundation of understanding who we are. So we start with our moons. We start with our suns. We start with some of the more complex aspects in the chart. I know some of you have had readings from John who gets into the heart, the deep heart psychological part. What is the wound? He's brilliant at that. He's uncovered so many wounds for people. A lot of therapists use him, but it's starting to resurge. You can see people are like, where have I been? What's been going on? What do they call it? What's my dysfunction? Because life isn't being good to me. I don't feel good. Okay. See this whole political thing? Some people live their life now as this is the problem for their life. I had a friend come over the weekend in another argument because I refuse to go down this hole, that it's bleak. I just can't. I won't. I don't believe it. At the same time, they don't want to believe it isn't. And it's like, can we just be okay with that? I mean, because I'm not going to convince anybody. I don't want to convince anybody about my reality is working for me and your reality is working for you. Great. You just seem miserable to me and you treat people miserably. That's what I wanted to say to this person. And I didn't. And because I do know it's all still projection. There's a part of me that's still struggling with identifying my own shadow. So let's see what we can do with a chart to see some of this stuff unfolding. Okay, you start with your sun, your basic sun and moon. Let me bring this back up. Did you say how to shift people intense with their opinions? No, you don't. You don't try, but it's really good. It's really good to understand if you see somebody who's like committed, like the goal isn't to shift anybody's opinion. It's to have them understand that their opinion is them. It's a part of them. You go through life being afraid, being angry, being hating. It's a part of the shadow we don't want to admit about ourselves. Like, imagine you're hating somebody for being so hateful, but what does that make you? And I know we don't like that. But I'm not saying quit doing it. All it takes is a spot of awareness, a spot of like, oh yeah, I could easily become. I have a friend, we argue all the time. In a good way, we argue about like he thinks he's right. And he thinks that as a result of being right, all these other people are completely wrong. And I go, but those other people are saying the identical thing you're saying. They think they're right. He said, yeah, but one of us is. And it's fascinating to me because, wow, wow. And that's what you have to fight with inside. That's what we have to work on. That's what we have to discover for ourselves. What is right? What is true individuation? What is true growth? I think it is an ability to look out here with some detachment, not denial, detachment. Denial is saying, I can't look at that. I hate those people. Detachment is, okay, let me look. Okay, I can hear that. And because I found my little detachment hook, not completely, but some, I have heard voices that I'm in love with that I never thought I could love. And sometimes we need people to hate what we hate and love what we love because we don't want to do the work. That's where being in the same group belongs. It's hard. I mean, Jung said, this is not easy stuff. The shadow is really scary. So, yes, it's debating is good. Even if they were shown they were wrong, would they change their minds? No. Have you ever changed your mind? Could somebody convince you to change your religion, really, your spiritual belief? Could a born-again Christian, maybe some of you are, God bless you, could a born-again Christian who believes so deeply in God's word and God's love and God's peace and Jesus Christ is their savior, if you didn't have that, could they bring it to you? I don't think so. But you could say, I see your passion, I see your love, I see your joy. That's amazing. And it's not my way. It might be, and I'll listen in doses or however I want to, but I'm not offended. I don't want you dead. I don't want you out of here because I can't look. Don't say the word Jesus. That's denial. But the goal isn't to change minds. It's to listen for you to hear. And in that example of you listening, guess what happens? Erica talked about this today. In the process of you listening, somebody looks and says, God, I like that person. They like you. They feel heard, maybe for the first time. And maybe you hate everything they just told you. Like, wow, I don't see any of that. But if it makes you happy, good for you. Like that kind of thing. Okay, if you were born again, at some point, you changed your mind. If you were born again, at some point, you changed your mind. Let me think about that. I think that's a play on words. I'm not positive, Connie, but that could be. Even if they were, yeah, saying sanskaras deal with. Okay, so my point is this, you guys, and if I'm sorry if I'm not getting completely all your points. These are exciting topics, right? The idea is your health, your well-being. If you need someone to change their mind, what does that make your commitment to your individuation? It makes it codependent. It starts the problem all over again because I need you to agree with me that my way is right. And therein lies the born again problem. If they're trying to convert me, then they haven't fully bought it themselves because they need my alignment on it. If you need my alignment politically to be on the same page as yours, you haven't fully bought your alignment. You haven't fully bought your commitment to what you're seeing. And your shadow keeps getting in the way. It keeps getting projected. It shouldn't matter. And trust me, as somebody who it's mattered their whole life, I know you can reach a place where it doesn't. It's a form of individuation. It's a form of pulling back. It's a form of seeing you aren't the victim anymore. You don't need that kind of, if you're willing to hear, if you're willing to listen, if you're willing to look at it, if there's things you're running from, like I can't stand to hear a thing I say. Okay, that's you. That's good. That's where you're at. But what about the part of you that can go, I see where I'm a little scared there. That's brilliant. That's all it takes. The observer going, I know, I'm in denial there. I just know I am. And maybe small doses I can get there. But that's gorgeous because guess what you just did there? You just came home and said, I see me. I see what I'm doing. And you didn't make it about these people who are presenting ideas that you want to kill for. Because it's not about them. It's you going, I see that I can't listen to this. And I have a ton of things I don't want to listen to. I told you the John of God story where people were flocking to go see him because they said he reaches in your tummy and pulls out a tumor. And it made me sick. And I don't want anything to do with him. And John said, if you had cancer and you knew he could pull it out, or everyone told you could pull it out, would you go? And I said, no, I wouldn't. There's a part of me that doesn't want, there's so much of me that doesn't trust that. And so much of me that maybe I'm not open to it, but I don't trust it. It turned out my instincts were right. But for some people, might have been cured because their instincts said, trust him and at least join with him on this magic happening. Okay, let me see how you are doing. Ryan, thank you. Happy birthday, baby. Okay, so it's about, and this is a birthday Libra. Libras, you guys get this. You really do. And you also understand this sort of like the idea of, and this is where this is so perfect that Venus is going into Libra for Libras, because that ability to be that objective, to see this sort of neutrality, to bring it in is the thing to do, is the way to be. Because you can now go, okay, let me look at that. And because Libras at least want to hear it objectively, which is why sometimes we hate Libras. And I call Libras the icy ones of the zodiac because they're the only inanimate object because of that objectivity. I know what they're capable of. I've seen it in John. When I want agreement, I don't get it. He can't just hand that over. Because that's not what they do. That's what, when Paris had the golden apple and had to give it to one of the goddesses, he wanted to cut it into thirds. He knew his life was going to be in danger. And since he knew there's no hope, he gave it to the true desire that he wanted, which was love, Libras and love. And he knew that the rest was going to be the end of his life. And so, but he did it. He knew, like, you finally go for what your true heart is. That's where the objectivity, it was the exact opposite of objectivity. It was love. So we're at a time now where the next few days we have to deal with this sort of like in out. But see, the window of Venus and Neptune where you could be duped and somebody could fool you into believing something is also the window out of believing it. It's like where you get a chance to go, wait a minute, let me look at the other side real quick. Let me at least look at this. Let me see if I can find my own individual self that's striving to be happy. Pam says, I no longer feel like I need to subscribe to a particular religion. I feel a lot of it is a need to be right. Everything we do, Pamela, seems to be a need to be right. If you need to be right, you're not sold on it yourself. Personal happiness, personal well-being, personal anything is a start of true happiness, because then you're not I don't want to sell. I am not trying to sell you guys on anything except if you want to be happy, let's try to define what that happiness looks like for you, and let's see if we can get there. But you're right. When you are selling somebody a point because you need them to see your point, or you have to hate them, that's in you. That's shadow. That's projection. And trust me, we all do it. But the healthier we get, the more we can sit in the middle here and go, okay, this is what I know to be true. You disagree with that, but I don't need you to understand my way. I get it. I understand. I've done the research. I've done the homework. I know myself. And trust me, I do a lot. Homework, not know myself. So when you find somebody's trying to sell you, why else do you need agreement? If somebody's trying to sell you, they aren't fully convinced. Otherwise, they need you on their team. They need you on the team. Okay. I love this with you guys so much. I really do. I don't know a thing I love more than to sit around with you for breakfast and have our morning chats. I wish it was something. I'm going to make these like this. And as soon as they reopen my membership, as soon as YouTube quits the silliness, they are making me wait 32 days. I at least Googled it and figured out. And it just, it's because I'm so new at this. And I was like, oh, well, cancel this. They said to cancel the business account if you aren't a business. Anyway, I told you last week what happened. Look at Mars, 14. Mercury and Mars. Oh, let me show you up close. Mercury and Mars are going to be together soon. That's about 4 days from now. It's building. Can you imagine what that is? Mercury's in Scorpio telling the truth. Mercury-Mars conjunction is going to be this aggressive forward communication. Thank you, Pam. That's so sweet. Thank you. I will definitely, I'll follow up with the membership thing for you guys. It's not going to be for another month, but I'll get it all sorted, and I want it to be perfect. So we'll have some fun behind the scenes. In the meantime, this week, you guys, fights could abound. You got to be careful. I've bit my tongue. My tongue is swollen. I've bit my tongue so much this week. But that's mostly because I have this issue with, I don't think because you live with somebody and because you're familiar with somebody that you have permission to bring the worst of you out. I have a big issue with that. I think that's where you want to be the nicest because they live with you. And so I bit my tongue a lot because I was so mad at myself, you guys, letting somebody on my computer, so freaking mad. And my ego, I knew it was about ego. Like, I was like, I know all that to her. It was, oh my God, I could torture myself over this. I did torture myself over it. Just trust me. But anyway, please be careful this week with your words, with your mouth. Anger is really real. And you're going to hear things that are going to make you mad. I think politicians are going to say things that are going to make you mad if they haven't already. But I think you're going to hear stuff. Please watch your mouth. That's all. You don't have to say every thought. You don't. You can write it down. You can think about it. You can let it sit. You're not going to sell anybody on your stuff. Keisha, thank you. Thank you, Liz. You're such an angel. Thank you, Judith. You're so sweet, you guys. Okay, so listen. That Mars, though, is also, look, Mars and Mercury, Scorpio, Moon in Cancer, and watch this, one more piece component we're bringing in. There's Saturn. Look, blank, blank, blank. Saturn in water in Pisces. It's going to be a grand trine in water. So you'll be good. You'll be able to control your mouth. You will, I promise. Just you don't have to tell the truth every time what you think is the truth. People, you don't have to do it. I'm watching a beautiful thing. A guy that I would never have watched before, a black gentleman who is the most gentle. So I'm not going to promote anything I'm watching because I just don't. I'm not ready for any of that yet. And he said something today about being thoughtful and mindful, even if you think you are so right. And he said it in such a perfect way. And we'll get to that later, but this is the grand trine energy. You can hold it. You're not here to convert people. Remember that. This isn't what you want. You're not trying to sell it. if you're trying to convert people, if you're like, you know, I think I'm losing friends by the dozen because I'm kind of feeling like this individuation process, right? And I don't have an urge to convert. I don't need it anymore. I see myself wanting to, and then I'm like, nah, it's okay. Like, grow. Let's see where you grow. And I'm grateful for so many things still, and one of them is this ability to like not be so desperate. It was back in the day years ago when I told you, in my family, it was all about my uncle's will and how I got written out of it on everybody's will. I don't think I've only inherited one thing, and it was a third of the house from my mom, and that had already been spent on our boiler, so I had no inheritance. And my and there's this moment when I realized that unhook there, that thing that finally took it out of like, there's no one that has anything that I need to be sing and dance for. That started me on a journey that was the most significant, most important thing in my entire life. And I can't tell you the level of gratitude I have for those things. Yeah, would you rather be right or happy? I know, right? Everybody still loves you, Mark, even if they don't agree with you. I don't know, Ter. Okay, even if they do. Kip, oh my God, good to see you. Quantum physics shows all possibilities are available to us, and that we focus on what, is what we want to create. So the truth is what you are living, and what you are living is what you are focused on. Yes, energy goes where energy flows where the focus goes, right? Kip, good to see you. Oh my God, you guys, we go back years and years and years and years and years. Aquarian, adore him. Hi, Pamela. I have to do a computer refresh at work this week. I had better be able to control my tongue. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You can mutter, right? That's so sweet. Keisha, thanks for making me laugh. Plus, I'm learning a lot. Great info. Thanks for sharing what a sweet thing. These people. Good to see you, Keisha. Keisha was with One to Listen Forever. Come back, girl, whenever you want. I do love you guys. I do appreciate the warmth and the love that you exude here. I am going to throw more planets up here so we can sign off. And Kat's coming up. Kat's back. I need my family intact, like the soul family, what we'll call the family enriched. I need them intact. Because there's familiarity, and it's sort of like, oh, before I drift away into my own individuation, I need my familiar land posts, and I feel like I'm getting them, and I'm grateful, so very grateful. My Saturn in the first house was truly a late bloomer. Like, I feel like I'm finally coming into something that allows me to be even more happy, and you guys are such an important part of that. And happiness is the key. We're just passing through, you guys. What else we do here? What else are we going to do here? Be miserable? Die right? Right? Okay, so look at Jupiter, part of that grand trine. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I got love in my tummy. Okay, what else we got? Now the big ones. Here's Uranus. Boom. Uranus at 0 air. This is going to be a square to Venus. So Venus is going to, wait a minute, is it? Let me think for a minute. Yes, Venus is going to go, not a square, a trine. So Venus is going to go to 0 Libra, another air sign, trining Uranus. Excitement, you guys. New people. Also, with that Neptune, quick to fall in love, quick to be duped. I don't believe in love at first sight this week. I'm sorry. Be careful. But you might, and it might work because of that bipolar thing, the bi-level information. Just be careful, be good, be excited, okay? Just don't fall in love for a minute. God, make me yell. Okay, Napoleon Dynamite, my favorite character for his exasperation. Like, literally, John will say, you want a glass of water? And I go, yes, yes, duh. Just because it's fun and not because it's serious. I mean, okay. Where's Pluto? 1, air sign of 1 here. So Pluto is trining Uranus. Pluto is trining Venus. Look at that beauty right there. There's going to be some truth, some real truth coming out. Let's see what goes on. Play with it. Boy, you guys are delightful. And let me see Chiron. Oh, yeah. Chiron at 25 Aries. We're going to talk about Venus opposition to Chiron, too. That's coming up as well. Let me see how y'all are doing. John is Astrologic at fastmail.com. Astrologic at fastmail. You write John and set up any appointment you want. Lori, thank you. It's so sweet to see you. You guys, I'm going to sign out. I'm going to give you Kat's address on the sign out screen. So we'll just play for a minute there. I so love you and so appreciate you. You made my morning. I could feel the energy back and forth. This has just been insanely powerful for me. Thank you so much for all you do. Happy birthday, Libras. Ryan, you have fun today. Ryan flies, a pilot. Kip, air sign, flies as a flight attendant and probably more by now. You guys are amazing. Air signs in the air. I love it. Okay, you guys. Here, I'm going to play the opening and the goodbye and see if I can do this. I think I did. Big hugs.